so the time is now. I finally get to see Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yep, we are making it happen.
We're making it happen.
Ken's dreams are finally coming true.
I found the Target edition at Target today.
But
4K.
but that's not the one you actually wanted, right?
No, I wanted Walmart.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I couldn't find it. It's okay. I like the Target edition.
But yeah, long story short, back when this movie came out, we had big plans to all go as a family, got tickets ahead of time. Ken got really sick. Could not go, but we had already paid for tickets, couldn't get a refund. So my mom ended up going with me and the kids instead. Ken has yet to see Spider-Man.
Yet to see it. Nobody would go to the theater to see it with me.
Yeah, so we thought it might be fun to, being as that I've already seen it and then him finally seeing it. We just thought it'd be fun to just talk about, my second time watching it, his first time watching it. Did it hold up for me? Did it live up to the hype for him? We just thought it might be a fun conversation.
I basically know everything already.
Yeah,
I know who's in it.
Yeah.
I know some major points. So I don't know if it'll hit me it would have in the theaters. I'm just hoping to enjoy myself. I'm not going to set my expectations that high.
Yeah.
But we are going to do a review of it when we're done, talk about it together, and you're going to get my first time reaction and thoughts to it.
Yep. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go sling some webs. Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we just got done watching Spider-Man No Way Home on 4K.
Yep. It's actually been a day.
It's been a day. Actually been 2 days.
Okay.
It's Thursday. We watched it Tuesday.
Yeah. So it's not completely fresh reactions, which I kind of wish we had done, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Parent life and work life and everything else.
Yeah, it was kind of late when we got done. And plus, it gave me some time to, I guess, process, everything.
So, yeah, I think I want to start with you.
Really? I want to know what you thought of it on the rewatch.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to know, what... I guess we can do you last. Save the best for last.
Or we can just talk about it together.
Yeah. But...
And also, up front, we're going to make this spoiler, right? I know you like talking about stuff in a spoilery way.
If there's something that we want to talk about.
It's been out for 4 months. It's been on VOD. It's been out on physical a couple of days. So
don't be mad at us if we say something.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, we warned you. Don't watch this until you've seen it.
Yeah. But so yeah, I think we mentioned this in the beginning of the vlog about how you never got a chance to see it, but me and the kids still went and I took my mom instead. So pretty sure I already said that. But anyway, so yeah, second time watching. This was only the second time. And I gotta say, it was pretty epic scene at the first time.
Yep.
But I was a little worried that this second viewing was gonna make it less than for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't. I enjoyed it just as much, even knowing what was gonna happen and all that stuff. And it could have been just because I knew it was your first time watching it, and so I was excited for you to finally get to see it. But I don't know. It held up, and I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks I might have liked it just a teeny bit better because, we can talk about this in a little bit, but I remember when I saw it, I had a little bit of a problem with I don't know, I guess the grand finale of the movie. I remember kind of, I don't know, just not being as into it. Spoiler alert, where, all the Spider-Men are fighting, essentially trying to cure all the villains.
It's a weird plot line.
Yeah, and send them back to their multiverse or their universe.
Because I asked you about halfway through, I was like, are we not getting an actual true villain in this movie?
Yeah.
Which we do kind of. I guess you would call the Green Goblin the real true villain.
Right.
And maybe Electro.
Even so, yeah. It definitely was a little... just kind of.
So I'll say that about the movie is one maybe negative that I have is there's no real threat or stakes coming from the actual villain. Well, there are. I guess I can't say that, but it's not as defined. It's very black and white the way that Like sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, and they're trying to get them from being bad to good and send them back.
Something interesting that I didn't really think about is by doing the storyline that they chose to do, like we didn't get like any new characters, like any new villains.
Any new villains?
Yeah, it's kind of like recycled a bit.
From other franchises and timelines, not even from this one.
That's okay. I'm not saying that
it was a cool way to do it, and it honestly made it feel original. So I'm not going to complain. It's something different. It's not your traditional villain hiding out in his lair, sending his goons and all that stuff. It's something different. So I'm not going to complain
definitely
too much
not
about it.
Tearing that apart for that. But yeah, long story short, it held up for me. If not anything, I enjoyed it a little bit more the second time. And yeah, I don't know. It's a great movie. It's a lot of fun, and it's got like a lot of heart, and I feel like most of the performances are really awesome. And so I'm going to now leave it to you to tell us if it lived up to all the hype after all these months.
I would say, I've been waiting to see this movie forever. You all came home. You all were super excited about it. And I couldn't even really react to that because I felt so bad.
Yeah. He was pretty depressed about
And I was really depressed about not being able to see it. But you all seemed very excited. Everybody around me that whole weekend, and internets and people at work that went and saw, everybody was raving about this movie, saying it was like one of the best Marvel movies. So the hype level was very high. I've had quite a few things spoiled for me over the past few months. I knew about Aunt May dying. Of course, I knew about Toby and Andrew. Like everybody pretty much knew that. I knew about some of the villains.
Which is interesting because even though you had a lot of the main things spoiled, you still really enjoyed it.
It was still impactful when the things happened.
Yeah.
I was a little conflicted on how they brought in Toby and Andrew.
Yeah.
Because it did kind of feel a little anticlimactic, and they didn't meet They didn't meet Tom Holland Spider-Man when they were first introduced. I was kind of just picturing in my head, because you all come home, you all saw it, and I was just kind of imagining what the movie was like.
What we saw.
And I was just trying to picture it, what actually, because I know what went down, but I was like, how did it happen?
Right.
So I was picturing Tom Holland's getting beat up and they come in to save him.
Right.
And it was just them coming through the portals that Ned creates, and they were already in the world, and just kind of wandering around.
Kind of comical.
Yeah, they kind of played it for laughs, but I like the way they did it.
Yeah.
I do. I'm not saying I don't like the way they did it, because they kind of subverted your expectations, I guess.
Yeah.
They just kind of walk in very matter-of-factly, like, hey, we're here. We're in the movie now.
Right.
And,
yeah.
And then, of course, it happens after the big emotional moment with, I keep wanting to say Peter Parker, but since they're all three Peter Parker, I'll call them by their actual names. Tom Holland and Aunt May, that big emotional scene. So they come in to really help him and lift him up and give him the strength to carry on. And, then they team up and go have the epic finale with all the villains again.
Yeah.
It hit in all the right spots. I really loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved it. I think it's definitely the best of the three Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, standalone, without a doubt, for me.
Do you feel like that's fair, though, considering it has the two other Spider-Men?
You can argue that kind of stuff all you want. There's people that, Captain America, Civil War, some people will say that's the best. That's not my favorite of that trilogy. It's probably my third favorite. Mm-hmm. And you could argue Winter Soldier and First Avenger are way smaller in scope and scale than Civil War, which brings in 100 superheroes. So I'm not like that.
Toby and Andrew not been in it, would this have been your favorite still?
I was pretty into it before they showed up.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, just to briefly talk about this, don't want to get this too long, but I feel like, Tom Holland did fantastic. He really delivered those emotional scenes.
His some of his moments early on, because when did they show up? Maybe there are 45 minutes left in the movie, so it's an hour and 40 minutes in before they go. We pretty much watched the whole movie. Yeah. So Tom Holland really gets a chance to shine as the character.
Right.
He does a great job. He might, I'd say after this movie, you could put him in contention of being the best portrayal of Spider-Man for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But what gets me the most excited is what happens at the end of this movie. I think it's a beautiful ending. I love the ending to the film. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that nobody remembers him now.
Right.
And nobody knows who he is. Mm-hmm. And he's truly on his own.
Yeah, you were saying that you're like, good. Now maybe he can get away from like the
All
Avengers.
I don't
and
want
like,
Spider-Man with the Avengers. That's not. That's all. It's just like Batman. I don't want him with Superman and everybody else. I know there's comics of that, but I just don't want it. I want standalone Spider-Man movies, standalone Spider-Man stories,
solo stories.
Nobody's supposed to know who he is.
Right.
Not even Aunt May knows who he is.
Right.
So I'm happy with that.
So you kind of feel like
and
he gets his setting up for that.
Yeah, I would love another. I don't know if Tom Holland's game to do another 3 movies, but I would love another 3 Spider-Man movies where he actually gets to be Spider-Man on his own, and that's what this is setting up.
Yeah.
So I would love that, but again, I don't know if he's going to do another.
I feel like I've
3
heard
movies.
That he's up for it.
Yeah, I really hope that they do, and then they have the little tease at the end with Venom going back, and he leaves the little thing of goo left. So now we've got to set up for Venom.
Yeah. And another thing that I just wanted to say too is I felt like Tom, Andrew, I'm trying to say all their names, and Toby. I felt like they all had a really great chemistry with one
all
another.
That stuff was super fun.
Yeah,
it was super fun.
Yeah, it was awesome to just like see them together, and like you could tell that it was like I don't know, it just felt like they were like actually having fun together. Like
when they were all talking about like how they spit out the different webbings and stuff, and it's like, how does it come out of you? Like I'm just curious, like how it feels or whatever.
Right.
All that stuff was hilarious.
Andrew Garfield's like, I gotta like make mine in a lab, and it's like actually really inconvenient. And then they're kind of like asking Toby like, does it come out of anywhere else?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It was very funny, and they definitely like poked fun at the fact. Like I felt like they poked fun at Andrew Garfield like not being the best Spider-Man.
Yeah,
like
his line when he says, "Man, all you guys got the really cool villains." He was like, "I've just fought like a Russian and." I forget what else he says, but it all in a rhinoceros. He makes fun of the rhino from Amazing Spider-Man 2. So all that was great.
Yeah, it was definitely very, very funny.
I really liked all the villain portrayals. I liked, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. I thought that
I felt like
Green
they
Goblin
came back with a bang, like they had never skipped a beat.
Like Jamie Foxx, who is considered like a joke, in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Nobody really likes that movie. I thought he was really good in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of has that villainous side to him. I'd say he's definitely one of the more villainous villains in the movie, but he was also cracking a lot of really funny one-liners.
Yeah, and I feel like it wasn't until the end did he actually give me I don't know, it was cool how even though they are all the villains that we've come to know.
Yeah.
It was good. It was because they were so confused about being in this other universe. You got to see this very human side of them, and not so much evil, plotting to. Of course, that came out a little bit later where they're struggling. Do I want to be cured, or do I just want to go back or stay in this universe and cause more destruction or whatever? So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So
a lot of fun. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. But
right. I mean, there's definitely a lot to be said.
I also thought the setup, Doctor Strange being in the movie.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've had an issue with just every single Spider-Man movie. He's never standalone. He had Iron Man in the first one.
Right.
He had Happy in the second one. He had Doctor Strange in this one.
Yeah.
But I did like the role that Doctor Strange played. He didn't really assist in any kind of way in battle or anything.
True.
He was just kind of in that whole sequence with him.
I mean, he had to help keep obviously he had to do the spell, and he had to keep the portal, or not portals, but when the things were cracking open, he was keeping that closed and everything. So they definitely
all stuff that Doctor Strange needs to do. Spider-Man could not do that on his own.
Yeah.
And that what you told me right before it began, you're like, oh, you're gonna want to watch this part. It's really cool when everything's shifting and they're doing the whole Inception thing where the trains that whole sequence was thrilling and awesome.
I think I had told you, when I came home from seeing it, that this movie definitely made me like Doctor Strange more, because I've never really been a huge Doctor Strange fan. I don't know why, I just never really cared for him. But this movie, just the way that he acts, his personality and stuff, I don't know, it made me like him more. So yeah, and I'm excited to see the new movie.
It definitely sets up for Multiverse of Madness pretty well. But what I was gonna say is I just in the trailer, it made that whole spell sequence seem so goofy. Where it's just oh, I can't, blah blah blah. Yeah. He's trying to take all the the wishes back that he's trying to make, and then that messes everything up. But I like the idea of everybody that was trying to get into his universe were the ones that knew who Spider-Man was.
But anyway, what would you give this movie out of 5? 5 stars.
Well, I already rated it on Letterboxd. I posted it on Instagram. You're like, take that down. So I took it down. So I gave it a 4.5.
4.5. Yep.
4.5.
I think that's.
Like I said, there's some things I can nitpick here and there.
Yeah.
But overall, this is probably the best case scenario.
Yeah.
For what it's not perfect, but few movies are.
Right.
I think it's about as good as it could get.
Yeah.
For this type of story.
So and if it's as good as it can get, then shouldn't it be a 5?
Maybe. You got a point. Again, there's some nitpicks I've got. I'm just saying.
Give it 5 stars.
I'm not going to give it a 5 star.
Okay.
It's not at that level. It's not at that level.
All right.
I still like Infinity War more. I like Winter Soldier more.
Man, I don't know what
there's some Marvel movies.
Or
there's some Marvel movies I still like better than this one, but I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me over time.
Okay. Well, we've been talking for over 17 minutes here. But yeah, I think 4.5 is probably what I would give it to.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Lived up to the hype. I'm happy.
You haven't heard anybody say how great it is,
because there's like
right?
very few modern movies that everybody talks about and everybody hypes about that I watch and I'm like, oh, I'm into it.
Right.
And this one delivered. The Batman didn't deliver.
Yeah.
But this one did. So I got to give it to Marvel. Yeah. They knocked it out of the park.
There we go.
So that was our review of Spider-Man No Way Home finally. Better late than never. 4 months later.
Right. They're probably about to release another one by this point.
Yeah, we'll be watching. I hope so. Spider-Man 4? Hopefully they just call it Spider-Man 4 and they ditch the home crap. I'm tired of these home titles.
I don't know.
But yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Comment down below your thoughts on Spider-Man. I know it's 4 months later, but it just came out on, Blu-ray and 4K. So go support
maybe you're
physical
just
media.
Seeing it too.
Yeah, support physical media. And appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.